let's start. So in the previous classes, we have discussed about your history of vacuum tubes, invention of BJT and BJT introduction. So today we will be working with BJT working and its characteristics. So when you talk about transistor, it is basically combination of two words, transfer of resistance. So from where we are getting this particular word, trans resistor. So transfer of resistance. So in this, what happens? You are having two terminals. This is one terminal and this is another terminal. So when you look at this particular junction is forward bias. So resistance is very, very low, almost equal to zero, maybe 10 ohms. And here, this particular junction is reverse biased. So when this is reverse biased, this is having a very high resistance. So ideally it is infinity, but it is having some value, maybe in kilo ohms. So that means when you apply a signal, you are applying signal across this junction, junction J1. So that is at low value. So suppose this is your input junction. So this resistance is R. So you're applying a current I. Then your voltage is V is equal to I R. Okay. Now you are obtaining, passing this particular current from here and it will moving towards this junction. So this junction is actually equivalent to a high resistance. It is having value R. So this is for small resistance, this is for big resistance. And now we are passing this value I. So now your voltage is I into R. So from here you can easily find out that just by transferring the resistance, the voltage value can be increased. So this is exercise for you people. You can select the value of current. Let the value of current be 10 milliamperes. So resistance is 25 ohms here and 10 kilo ohms here. So find out the two values. What is the difference between two values? So this is the voltage at input VI. This is the value at output V naught. So this is exercise for you people to do and find out. So what happens? This is a definition of transistor where current is applied at low resistance and obtained at the output across the high resistance. So this is the entire game as far as your transistor is being concerned. So now I am proceeding ahead. This is being left as exercise for you people to calculate this thing, that what is the effect on voltage just by changing the shift of resistance. So these are the various images of resistances you have seen across you people. So some of them will be MOSFET behind your music systems, in your UPS, and so many places you have seen them. So there are different kinds of BJTs. The one which we will see in lab is this one, BJT. But these are the different where being find in your daily gadgets like your TV, your remote controls and all. You will find all of them in plenty. So this is just the casing. Inside this, we are having a semiconductor that is very, very small. This is just the casing to protect mechanically damage to them, so that mechanically they cannot be damaged. So to protect them, this is the casing to all of the transistors. So there it is metal. This is ceramic, metal plus ceramic. This is completely metal. And these are the pins by which they can be accessed externally. So 3 pins means your emitter, base and collector. In this, this is your emitter, this is base, and your collector is having a larger area. So this metal is acting as collector. Okay. So here you can find out, suppose this is your transistor and you will ask to find out where is collector and where is base and emitter. The first thing you have to do is find out its number. So suppose its number is BC547547. Then you will enter this into Google and find out the data sheet for this BC547, and then it is being given here. So here you can see the pin number 1, 2, 3 is, so it can be like that, collector base emitter or base collector emitter, depending upon the number to which your IC actually belongs. So this is just a basic thing, how your transistor looks like and how you can find out which one is collector, a base and emitter. When we perform this practical in lab, then I will tell you how with the help of multimeter you can tell which is base, which is collector, which is emitter. Okay. So as far as your transistor is being concerned, it can be operated in primarily three regions. Although fourth region is there, that I will discuss at the end of the lecture, but primarily they will be focused in three different regions: active region, saturation region and cutoff region. So active region is when the transistor is being operated as an amplifier, and this particular equation is there. So we will be discussing about this in the coming slides. Then saturation is when transistor is fully on and your device is saturated, and cutoff when it is fully off and does not give any sort of current. Now, as far as your BJT is being concerned, I'm using this term repetitively, saturation. So what saturation is? So I'm giving a particular example, not from electronics, so that you get a better idea. Suppose you are making some drink, maybe sharbat or something like that. So you're having a glass of water. So you're adding 1 teaspoon of sugar into this. So it dissolves at a given temperature and pressure. So in the process, after 4 or 5 spoons, the sugar will not dissolve now. So you will find out that sugar is now settling at the bottom. You keep on adding the sugar, but sugar is not dissolved. So that means this is your input, that you are adding sugar to the water. This is your input, and sweetness of the water is your output. So at a particular temperature and pressure, after adding number of teaspoons, what happens? There will be no increase in the sweetness of your device, sweetness of your water, but the input remains unused. The sugar starts settling at the bottom. So that means the sweetness of water is fixed irrespective of adding sugar to this, and there is no further increase in the sweetness. So input is getting wasted. So that means your output is there is no further increase in the output. So that means we can say that your output is saturated. Similarly, when we use this term in electronics, it means initially you increase the current, your output increases, and later on your output remains constant. So if this is the current, this is voltage. So initially you increase the voltage, your current increases, but later on you keep on increasing the voltage, but current remains saturated. So that means your device is saturated. There is no further increase in the output. So this is analogy for this, that you are increasing the input, but there is no increase in the output. There is increase in the input in the beginning only. Later on, there is no increase in the output. And cutoff means device is not conducting. Okay. So we will be discussing about them in detail in the coming slides. So now here you can see two kinds of transistors are there. One is PNP, another is NPN. They are having three different junctions. So junctions are emitter, base, three different terminals, emitter, base and collector. And they are having two junctions. This is junction 1, emitter base junction, junction J1, and base collector junction, junction J2. Similarly here, you are having similarly two junctions, J1 and J2, and same terminals are there, emitter, base and collector. The only difference is here N-type material is being sandwiched between two P-type semiconductors. Here P-type material is sandwiched between two N-type materials. So this we have done in the previous classes also. So your transistor can be thought of as a two back-to-back diodes being combined together. So here you can see this is P, this is N, this is N, this is P. So they can be combined together to form a transistor. But that is just an analogy. Actually what happens, they cannot be combined together. The reason for that is the base is very small in transistor, but here base thickness will be more. So that is avoided. But to get understanding how things are actually happening, we are fixing it like this, that this is one transistor. So here you can see this is N, this is P, and this is P, this is N. So we are combining together them. So we are getting a transistor NPN or PNP. But actually they will not work as a transistor. The reason for that is in transistor your base is kept very small so that less number of recombination occurs at base. So these are the symbols for your transistors. So you can see that you are having three terminals, emitter, base, and collector. So emitter current is there, base current is there, and collector current is there. Now this arrow is there, it will tell you what kind of transistor is this. If current direction is from emitter to base, so what is the conventional direction of the current? It is in the direction of holes. It is in the direction of holes. So holes are moving from this to this. So that means what is the origin of holes? P type. And what is the termination of holes? N type. So this is PNP transistor. Now here again you see the direction of current is from base to emitter. So what is the direction of current? Direction of holes, and holes move from P to N. So this is P, this is N, and this is NPN. So this is symbol for NP, and this is symbol for PNP. So three terminals are there, emitter, base, collector. So the three different currents are there, emitter, base, and current. And also related to the voltages. So here you can find out several voltages are there. What are those voltages? This is your voltage related to collector and emitter. So this is collector emitter voltage. This is voltage related to your base emitter. So this is BEB. And this is voltage related to collector voltage. So this is BCB. So here you can see again, this is voltage related to collector and emitter. So this is like this. This is voltage related to your emitter and base. And this is voltage related to your collector and base. So things goes like this in this particular symbols. So we have discussed about analogy. We have discussed about symbols. So this is just a review of the previous class. So now this is the other thing which we have left. So this is your NPN transistor, emitter, base, and collector. So here you can see that voltage of collector is more than voltage of base is greater than voltage at emitter. And collector emitter voltage is greater than 0, and BV is also greater than 0. Now your emitter current is equal to collector current plus base current. Emitter current is equal to collector current plus base current. Kirchhoff's current law, you know that at a particular node, the sum of entering and leaving the current is equal. So this is leaving, this is entering. So BVE is equal to voltage at base, VE is voltage at emitter. Similarly, VCE is voltage at collector, and this is voltage at emitter. So IC is equal to beta times IB. IC is equal to beta times IB. This we are going to derive in the coming classes. So don't worry about this. Okay. So now we will moving ahead so that little bit understanding to the topic increases. So here you can see this is emitter, this is base, and this is collector. So what we have done, this is NPN transistor. So in NPN transistor, as already being explained to you people, that we dope emitter heavily. So here you can find out more number of N-type carriers in emitter, and base is lightly doped, and you can find out that less number of carriers are there in base, and collector is also lightly doped. The reason for that is the main purpose of the collector is to collect all the particles, carriers that are being emitted by the emitter. So working will be discussed in the things. The only thing is area wise collector is more, emitter is less than this, and base is least. Doping wise, mostly doped, lightly doped, and slightly doped. So this is the order in which they are being doped, being discussed yesterday in the other class. So now we will be working on working of BJT, how BJT works. So first I will be discussing the active mode. So in active mode, what is the configuration? You can see this is your active mode. The configuration is your, this is NPN transistor. So here you can see clearly see that we have doped it heavily. N plus plus means 10 raised to power 22. This is P plus and this is N. So this is heavily doped as compared to this. And this is lightly doped as compared to this. And now we will coming towards active region. So in active region, this is your N type. This is your P type. And this is again
Excuse
your
me, sir.
N type.
Excuse me, sir.
So here you can see we are operating this particular transistor in active mode. So active mode means your emitter base junction will be forward biased. So this is your PN. So in this, positive is being connected to P, negative is being connected to N. So that means this junction is forward biased. Similarly, when you focus here, we want this particular junction to be reverse biased. So that means negative will be applied to the P and positive will be applied to the N. So now this junction is reverse biased. So active mode is about forward biasing the emitter base junction and reverse biasing the collector base junction. So here you can see that we are operating this particular NPN transistor in active mode. Now I'm coming to the actual working of the BJT, how it operates. Now, when we talk about active mode, this junction is forward bias. So that means this junction width is actually reducing. So resistance is less in this particular junction. Similarly, when you talk about this particular junction, this junction is reverse biased. So reverse bias means depletion width will increase and your resistance will be on the higher side. Now coming to the actual working of your transistor. So this is negative, this is N-type and highly doped N-type. So this negative potential will actually pushing electrons into the base. Now, your particular electrons in this particular portion N-type, N++, is heavily doped. So they are excess in number. So they will be pushed towards base. Now what happens? On the one side, we are actually pushing electrons here. On the other side, this positive is actually pushing holes into the other side so that recombination occurs. But already discussed that base is smaller in area and emitter is heavily doped and larger in area as compared to base. So less number of holes being generated and very few recombinations of electrons and holes will be there. So what happens? Suppose if 100 number of electrons are being pushed into the base region from this using this particular potential, what happens? Very few will recombine. So let's say that only 3 will recombine here. So 97 of electrons will be in your base. So electrons are acting actually majority carriers in N-type. They become minority carriers in P-type. So this is the slightest portion. After that, what happens? This particular junction is reverse biased. So here you are having a positive potential. So these electrons will be attracted towards the collector. So 97 electrons will be collected at the collector. So this is the entire working of the BJT. So what happens?
Sir,
Okay, now what happens? Whatever electrons has been pushed into the base, some of them have recombined in the base. So under the influence of this positive potential at the collector, all of them will be attracted towards the collector. So whatever you have emitted from the emitter, some of them have been recombined at the base, and most of them have reached at the collector. Now, coming to the second point, this collector base junction is actually reverse biased. Collector base junction is reverse biased. So, reverse bias does not mean that there will not be any sort of charge movement. There will be charge movement, but that will be very small. So there will be some reverse leakage current. So that is being denoted by ICO. So this is reverse leakage current. Now, why this is called reverse leakage current? Because we have not deliberately want this conduction to occur. This conduction occurs only because we are putting some minority carriers here. So in N-type, this you are having majority carriers as electrons, but now this is reverse biased. So this is positive. So some holes are being pushed here. Some holes are being pushed here. And because of that, you are having reverse conduction. So that is working of BJT as in terms of simple things. And how it is simple, that you are emitting some carriers, some recombination is there, and when you are actually recombining them, you are getting some electrons being passed through this base and being collected at this particular portion. Now coming to the point that how this is actually helping you. So that will be discussed in the coming slides.
तो उसके कारण जो मेजॉरिटी चार्ज कैरियर्स हैं वो बेस की तरफ मूव करने शुरू हो जाते हैं और उसके कारण एमिटर करंट बन जाता है जो IE है। और
Very
फिर
good.
इलेक्ट्रॉन्स जो पी टाइप मटेरियल है उसमें वो जाते हैं और वहाँ पे होल्स होता है तो उसके
Okay.
साथ वो कंबाइन कर जाते हैं। और NPN रीजन का जो बेस रीजन होता है जो कि पी टाइप रीजन है वो लाइटली डोप्ड होता है तो इसके कारण कुछ ही इलेक्ट्रॉन्स वहाँ पे कंबाइन हो पाते हैं
Very good.
और बाकी के जो है बेस करंट बन जाते हैं और बेस करंट फिर कलेक्टर रीजन को जाता है। और
Okay.
रिवर्स बैट पोटेंशियल कलेक्टर रीजन पे अप्लाई होती है तो हाई अट्रैक्टिव फोर्स उधर लगता है ना तो उसके कारण इलेक्ट्रॉन्स कलेक्टर जंक्शन पे पहुंचते हैं और फिर वो इमिट कलेक्टर सर और वही इमिटर करंट जो होता है वो कलेक्टर और
Okay, thank you very much. So see you in the next class.